Welcome to the Prospect Warehouse podcast. This is episode something, I think like 15. I don't know. John, you texted me the other day and you're like, are we halfway through? And I was like, I think we're like one iteration behind. So after this week, we will be approximately halfway through our minor league previews. And if you're watching on X Vision or YouTube or whatever, so the John Substack or whatever method of watching you're watching on, you see that it is me, Tim Kanak at Fantasy Ace Ball, and John Anderson at John PGH on the X. What's up, John?
Hello. We got, not to be the weather guy, but so this week I live in Northern Indiana. We went sled riding on Monday, and then this weekend it's going to be 60 again. So we're going to be like out there in shorts. So it's a full range of outcomes week for us up here. Kind of crazy stuff with the big lake, but yeah, things are going. I'm four team previews in. I'm also doing drafts. I talked to Zach Waxman. I don't know if you're familiar, but so we have a lot of different angles here at MLB Data Warehouse. Like this is the prospect stuff, the Dynasty League stuff, but then there's a whole nother part of like off-season higher stakes redraft leagues, and I'm getting into that. The ADP's flowing. I got a dashboard there. I even have my like 2026 projections out, which need a lot of refining and stuff. But I mean, there's just a lot of different angles we're hitting. So I'm constantly busy. And this is, I said in a recent solo podcast that like October was by far the greatest month for my podcast ever because of this. And then it's also inspired me and whatever, just like more ideas flowing. So a lot of stuff happening, and it's only November 12th. So we're making good pace.
Yeah, we're doing a lot. We're almost halfway through prospect rankings on team stuff. So my team orgs are done. I'm just started the other day going through my updated top 150. And I haven't done any write-ups yet, but I've been kind of just messing around with guys that I'm moving up, guys that I'm moving down, that kind of thing. And I've also been working on my dynasty rankings. So we talked before we started recording the pod that I'm going to have a dynasty cheat sheet that's going to be available for purchase on MLB Data Warehouse. So there will be a dynasty cheat sheet. There's going to be a 3-year dynasty ranking. And nobody does this. Everyone just has one dynasty.
Yeah, you're an animal.
I'm gonna have a 3-year dynasty ranking, a 5-year dynasty ranking, and then a redraft ranking. And on all three, I'll also have the prospect rankings attached and FYPD rankings. So you're going to get all those rankings. So you'll get 3-year, 5-year, 1-year. Like that's pretty solid. I'm like a stock market guru with 1-year, 3-year, 5-year expectations. And dude, on the weather, I had to wear a hoodie this morning. I took it off because it got hot. But yesterday I had to wear a hoodie the whole day. Yeah, no, it was like in the 40s in Florida.
Oh, yeah?
I had to wear, I had to wear gloves. I had to wear gloves for the first time all year the other day. I had to wear my little hunting hat because I got cold. I put it over my ears. I used to, when I lived because I'm from St. Louis originally. So when I lived up there, I would walk around. It'd be 0 degrees. I would walk around in shorts and a t-shirt. No problem.
I could tell. I knew you were one of those guys.
Now I've become a Floridian. I cannot stand the cold weather. If 40 degrees is like I'm going to stay inside and hide. That's what 40 degrees does to me now, John. I've been ruined. My cold weather polar bearism has been ruined by Florida.
And you'll never appreciate the spring like us people up here, you know.
No. What two seasons here in Florida? Rainy season and dry season. It's dry season. So we are going to talk about the Texas Rangers today, the Tejas Rangers, and our Cowboy is not even on the episode. How about that? We're talking about a Cowboy team, Texas Rangers, and we don't even have the Cowboy.
How many Cowboy sounding names here? Some of these names are insane. We're going to have to talk about. I mean, it looks like you were like really hammered when you wrote these names. I'm like assuming you did it right, but some of these look like absolute typos. So lots to talk about.
Yes, and we've got another dash name. So I know you love your you love your dash names.
Fitz Dash Gerald. That's like a joke. That can't be real. But
yes, I know.
Did you see dude? How about shout out to me. I had an almost 2 million impression tweet. Did you see it? Of course you did.
Probably. I see all your tweets, but I don't I'm not judging based on how many impressions or likes or whatever you're getting.
Right. But no, So this isn't the point to brag about having a viral tweet. It's how simple it was. So this Guardians thing with Clace and Luis Ortiz, the indictment came out, and they're using this PDF government. They have to give full information. So I printed it out, I read it, and then I just wrote on Twitter my summary of it, like in bullet points. And it was like, like that's where we're at in society, where all you have to do is be able to read and write. And people are like, wow, look at this guy. This guy's super impressive. I know it wasn't really about that, but it was wild. Such a simple thing. Obviously a very interesting story. I guess there's nothing really to talk about, but and like Emmanuel Clace's name is actually Emmanuel. Is it Clase? Sorry, I don't even know. His name is like Emmanuel Clase de la Cruz. It's so like every Latin American player, the last name is actually De La Cruz, but just like some of them don't.
I mentioned it on one of these other podcasts. I told Doc. I don't know if you were on that one or if it was just Doc, but like me as a contractor, I have like 50 or 60 people that work for me, and I'm like the only gringo in my entire company. And basically everybody has like 10 names, and I don't know. I can't remember them all, but like every person that works for me has like 10 names if you look at their passport. Then when you look at their American ID, it's like they bring it back. They're like, nope, we're bringing it down to 2. We don't have Ellis Island anymore to change.
I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I wish so many of them wouldn't pick like Luis Garcia. Like I've been through the ringer with Luis Garcia, and hopefully we're almost out of the woods. But 3 guys in Major League Baseball named Luis Garcia. It's just hell on the dashboards, and we've seen it with your F scores. A lot of these guys' F scores get messed up because there's 2 guys with the same name and it doesn't know what to do. So in some ways, I would like them to just bring the whole name, but then you have issues like trying to fit names in text boxes and stuff. So but there's a lot of names about this, and I don't know. Is this a good system, or where does this rank overall before we get started?
It's okay. I would say that the Rangers are like, I don't know, like 20th roughly. I haven't ranked them 1 through 30, which I probably should do once we're done. Do like a wrap up and just rank the orgs 1 through 30. That'd be kind of cool, I guess. But I have not done that, but I would guess that they'd be around 20, like not quite in the middle, maybe a little bit below, but also like not at the worst end. They have a couple of really high end prospects, and they are a little bit deep. Like they have a little bit of depth here, but it's not like elite. So, I mean, obviously it's like not even average in my opinion, but it's not bad.
Okay.
So let's jump right in, and we're going to talk about number 20, Josh Owens, who was a pick. He was a draft pick in this last draft, 3rd rounder for the Rangers. They gave him $1.1 million out of high school, and he did debut, though it was only 24 plate appearances, so it doesn't really matter. But Josh Owens is interesting because he was drafted as a pitcher and a second baseman
player. That's
2-way player.
How about that?
TWP. I love it. So they drafted him as a second baseman and a pitcher. He has not yet pitched in pro ball, but he did play a little bit of second and short. I think they actually had him at short. And he went to the same high school as Evan Carter, and his dad was the coach, actually. So it's kind of interesting. Wow. He gets a lot of Evan Carter comps as a hitter, just because I guess like his dad was the high school coach, coached Evan Carter. But he's also a pitcher who can throw 98. So there's a little bit of Mason Wynn here, if you want to, kind of take that approach to it as a middle infielder / pitcher. He's a lefty though, and he throws 94 to 97 on average and get it up to 98. So he's got a bit of an arm, Josh Owens. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually let him pitch next year, or if they kind of just pigeon him.
As a hitter. You can't really. I mean, the Ohtani thing is making everybody want to try it, but it's just not going to happen again. None of these dudes are going to. I feel like if you try to do both, you'll just fail at both. And
McKay.
I was hoping we could breeze
Brandon
through
McKay?
him. Yeah. What is he just out now, or did he drop one?
He's done. He got like Tommy John. Basically, he was hitting and pitching, and then they're like, "You're a better pitcher than a hitter." And then he finally made the majors, and then had to get Tommy John, and then he just disappeared after that.
Right. What about Walsh? Didn't Walsh, that first baseman for the Angels, do that too? Jared Walsh, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Jared Walsh did that for a little bit. Who else? There's even Nolan McLean. Nolan McLean did that until last year. And then he focused on pitching, and then all of a sudden, boom, now he makes the majors. So.
It messed up ESPN fantasy because he was DH SP, and ESPN somehow still doesn't know how to handle that, even though they've had 4 years of Ohtani to figure it out. but you wouldn't get McLean's pitching stats until like a few days later. Like you'd see it there, but they wouldn't apply to your actual matchup. And that was a point of confusion. But let's go to somebody more.
Yeah, we'll go to number 19 because we don't really have anything on him since he barely has a track record, and there's nothing you can really do with 24 plate appearances. Number 19 is Braylon Morrell. He's been around for a while. I used to have him ranked higher. So this is a guy who's actually dropped in my rankings because he didn't have that good of a year. If you want to pull him up, John, he hit 254, 293, so bad plate skills, 397. He was pretty. He's one of these guys that had a really good DSL season and was good in complex, and so you get really interested because back in 2023, DSL he had a 171 WRC plus as a 17-year-old. Then the next year he went to complex and had a 140 WRC plus in complex, 7 bombs and 12 steals. That was 2024. So at the end of last year, I'm like, man, good DSL, good complex. Like this guy's progressing very nicely, but then he had a pretty crappy year this year. Only 5 bombs, 3 steals, under 100 WRC plus, only a 4% walk rate and 27% K rate on the season. So the plate approach has really knocked him this year. So really bad year, drops him in the rankings. But like to me, he was so good the first couple of years that I'm not going to completely throw him off the top 20, right? It's a guy where I'm like kind of just sit and watch right now. Like he was 19 this year. He'll be 20 next year. So let's give him another year before we just like, hey, this is a DSL guy. Sucks that, once he gets to A ball, once he gets stateside, he sucks. Just throw him away. Not quite there yet. So I think Braylon Morrell is a guy to watch moving forward.
Correct.
Number 18, Cody Freeman. Cody Freeman is actually a guy, I think he debuted this year. I want to say
I recognize the name.
I want to say he played as like at the end of the season, they brought him up and was just kind of like a bench player. So he didn't really get like full-time playing time.
Here's where I'm at. I can tell you that from also on the prospect analysis, there's so many names like what we were talking about. There's a lot of these names with a lot of these guys with similar duplicate names, a lot of guys with the same name in the minors. So I add their ID number. I'm sure everybody's noticed that, but anytime you see an ID number that starts with a 6, they've been around for a while. All the new guys have 8s. We're heading towards 9, but these ID numbers progress numerically. So 6-8, that means, an ID number starting with 6, the guy's up there. At least he's been around. He must have debuted at a young age or something like that. But yeah, I remember the name, so he must have hit the majors a little bit.
Yeah, he was drafted as a high schooler in 2019, John. So he was around during COVID, even basically missed a whole year from COVID. So you've got to give him a little credit there, I guess. Whole year development gone, but he had a really good year in the minors this year, and then he came up as a bench player at the majors and really didn't do so much. Even though his contact rates and stuff were pretty good. So it's something to look at. Like you're like, okay, this dude had a really good year in the minors. In the minors, he had a 90% contact rate, 92% zone contact. I think you had his F scores up a second ago, like really good F scores. The EVs are not great, so he's more of a contact hitter. He's only 5'8", but you gotta love that 2024 94% stolen base rate. Definitely way down this year, so not as good this year. But you gotta love the hit tool there. So 104 hit, 116 discipline. Like that's pretty solid for a guy who can play around the diamond as a bench hitter. If he got regular plate appearances, obviously you'd be way more interested, which is why he's at 18. Because you look at these F scores and you look at that hit tool and you're like, oh, this guy, why is he ranked all the way down to 18? And it's because he profiles as a super util type player rather than a average regular. So that's going to kind of knock him down the rankings, even though he is like pretty good and has shown a good hit tool. So I like him as a bench player. So if you're in a 30-team league like we're going to be doing, he might be a nice guy to add in your like rookie draft or whatever, and you just throw him on your bench as like your last guy, just because he's probably going to play around the diamond a little bit, and he's young and he'll probably be cheap in those types of leagues. But
Rangers infield's terrible. Like they haven't had. Semion's like totally aged out, and they haven't had a third baseman or a second baseman to like count on for a long time. I guess Semion's the second baseman. Seager.
Josh Young had his 1 year or whatever and has not really been he's been hurt a lot and hasn't really done anything. So agreed. Like you've got Seager who is always hurt. So you always need someone to pop in and fill in for 40 games or whatever for Seager when he gets hurt. But he had a 90.7 zone contact in the majors. So even though like he only had a 66 WRC plus in the majors, it's like, of course, if you're coming off the bench a lot and you're not getting consistent playing time, that's going to kind of mess with you. EVs are not great, but like he should be a pretty high average hitter off the bench. and could maybe run into like, 10-10 or something like that. If he gets enough plate appearances, if he gets 400 plate appearances, you could get like a 10-10 or an 8-8 or something from him with a high average. So that's not bad.
All right.
Yep. Says Cody Freeman. Number 17 is Emiliano Teodo. Teodo's been around for a long time. Welsh loved him a couple of years ago, and I was always questionable about his control, like really bad control, but he throws 100. So Teodo really profiles as a high leverage reliever, which relievers I'm not really going to rank as like top 10 prospects. Even like really good ones like Tyson Neighbors was barely in my top 20, even though the Orioles are a really good system. And he's probably like the best reliever in the minors, like maybe my favorite reliever in the minors. But Teodo throws 100 and he's got really good stuff, but he has really bad command. And this is a point where like they finally transitioned him last year to a full-time reliever. 2024, he made 19 starts. Last year, he made 0 starts. So they finally made him a full-time reliever, and the command was still atrocious. He was throwing like 20% walk rates, even as a reliever. But I think this stuff is good enough that if he like can actually fix that, he could be a good reliever. Like think a worse command Joe Boyle. It's like kind of like what you're looking at here for Teodo.
I feel 2.9% K to walk. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff is good though. So like, I think that the stuff is definitely good enough for him to be a major leaguer. Like he was throwing 30% K rates as a starter.
I bet.
You think he could transition to 35% K rate as a reliever at some point? He's 24, going to be 25 next year. A lot of relievers don't really make it until they're like 26, 27. So I still kind of like him longer term as a reliever here.
I bet he had the highest strikeout rate for any pitcher under a 5% K to walk. Let's see. How many innings was it? What did we see?
He threw 30 innings last year.
Okay. So there might be others. Let's go 25 innings. Look at every pitcher, all levels under a 5% K to walk, sort by K rate. Nope, he's not. Okay. There's some other small sample dudes here. He's got to be 23%. I mean, I did something
his walk rate was 19.5% last year. Pretty atrocious.
That's not something you see very often. But yeah, you're right, like 28 innings, so that would have come down probably.
Yeah, and he had some injury problems last year, so I'll give him a freebie on that one. Let's see how he transitions as a full-time reliever into this next year. I think the stuff is still good enough. Like fastball slider is good enough for him to play up as a pretty solid reliever eventually. But I mean, he's our number 17 guy. Our number 18 guy was a bench hitter. So like right now with the system, like we're not talking about superstars or anything here. 16 Malcolm Moore is a catcher. Malcolm Moore, it was not great, but he has high pedigree because he was a first rounder last year at 2024. He's known first as like a defensive catcher. So like when I look at Malcolm Moore, he's a defense first catcher. He went to Stanford, so he's smart. And it's like, is he just like an Austin Hedges type, or like?
Well, he could have just had maybe his dad just was a professor at Stanford or something like that. You don't know that it was merit based.
Okay. Yeah, very true, and also because he was a sports scholarship, like whatever. But like he doesn't have a lot of power. Which you see on the F scores, a 94 power. He had less than 100 ISO this year. Last year he did okay with like a 165. But I think he profiles more as a defensive first catcher with solid plate skills, maybe an okay hit tool, bad power, really nothing for speed because he's a catcher. So it's like your best you're probably going to get is a Keibert Ruiz type offensive profile here from Malcolm Moore, but the defense is so good that he might get regular plate appearances. The Rangers don't really have a really good catcher in their system. He's the best catcher in their system. So like once you get past, like Jonah Heim is older than you might think. I know he's only been around for a couple of years, but I think Jonah Heim is like 30 or 31 years old. So it's not like he's like a young guy. He like kind of popped as like a 28 or 29-year-old guy. If you pull up Heim here, so yeah, she's 30 years old. So it's like Malcolm Moore is probably a guy that in 2 years will be their backup catcher. And in 3 or 4 years, he'll probably be their starter unless they draft someone else. So you might get like, he might be just like a bulk guy, right? Where like you need 2 catchers. He's going to play. He has a solid enough hit tool where he probably won't ding you because he'll probably, I know even though he only had a 195 batting average this year, like he profiles more as like a 250 batting average guy or something with, like not a lot of power, and maybe he throws in 10 steals. So maybe you get like I don't know, okay, average catcher 2 with Malcolm Moore.
Thrilling
Yes.
stuff.
Hey, we're getting deep here. We're gonna talk right now about a guy I actually really like, but he's really far away.
Elorki.
Number 15 is Elorki Rodriguez. He will not show up in your thing, John, because he was DSL only. But Elorki Rodriguez, as a 17-year-old this year in the DSL, hit 337, 473, 506 with a 162 WRC plus. He walked more than he struck out. 17% walk rate, 16% K rate in the DSL. A 9% swinging strike rate, which is really good for the DSL. And he had 6 home runs and 9 steals with a 76.8% contact rate, which, again, is very good for the DSL. Like most of the guys in the DSL are like 60% contact rates with like 20% swinging strike rates. So Elorki is actually really advanced as a 17-year-old in the DSL. I like him. Very interesting player here who profiles is maybe a better hitter discipline guy than like a power guy. And he's got some speed, though he also did get caught. He did run into 8 caught stealings. So maybe he's not the smartest base runner, but it's from like a hit plate skills profile as a 17-year-old. He actually profiles above average. So I think like tools wise, you might be looking at like a 55 hit, 55 plate skills, 50 power, 50 speed type guy, which is solid. Like he's probably going to be a starter if he actually develops along those lines at some point. So I think he could be a solid outfielder probably, even though he plays second and outfield. I think he probably moves to outfield. He played 17 games in center, 14 at second base. So I think he'll probably be an outfielder. But I think you've got a starter here as long as he actually develops along the current track.
Okay.
In like 4 or 5 years.
The production value is skyrocketing. Everybody watching this podcast has seen my in production value, and we just watched an Instagram reel of Elorki Rodriguez for those of you watching.
Yes,
a little
I can't do that.
Unfortunate placement of this logo, like right over his crotch. I'm not sure who made that call, but El Futuro de los Rangers de Texas. So that's what we got on the man Elorki.
They should have put 2 of those logos right there. That'd have been fun.
All right. So long way to go on him, but all right. Good analysis.
Yeah, long way to go, but he profiles as a solid starter, I think. Number 14 is Cameron Cawley. Cameron Cawley with the Rangers. We should, let me see. Should we get something for him? Yes.
Yeah, we got something.
All right. Cameron Cawley, AA. So a AA middle infielder and had a solid season. I don't like him from a plate skill perspective because he does swing. He does have a higher swing strike rate. You see, F scores is the same, 93 discipline. So, usually when I'm thinking about fast developing guys, plate skills matter. So that means that we may not see him till he's 24, 25, something like that. But unlike Freeman, he actually has some power. So he kind of profiles again like Freeman is like a super utility type around the diamond type. But he has more power, so maybe he can find a starter's role because he actually does have some power that can stick around here. 15 home runs and 28 steals in the minors last year at AA the whole year. So pretty solid season from a statistical standpoint here.
Improvement.
Cawley,
5 points. Drop the K rate by 5 points. That's a good trend, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's still high. K rate's still high and walk rate is still low, which is like the big down thing on him because he steals a decent amount. 27 steals last year, 28 this year, 12 home runs last year, 15 this year. So it's almost like a Tommy Edman type profile, but with more swing and miss. If you're looking for like a fantasy comp, I guess. Except he's not a switch hitter, so just a righty.
But do you want to do a comp? We can do
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see what we got on a comp here from him.
Oh, right there. MLD data warehouse.stream. Oh, it's down. It's down. We can't do it. It's going to take a minute. Let's keep going.
I would say Tommy Edman though, because he's got a little bit of pop for a middle infielder, shorter middle infielder, a nice amount of speed. He plays in the middle infield just like Tommy Edman. Bad plate skills like Tommy Edman, but worse, I would say. and about a 250 batting average, like Tommy Edman.
Tommy Edman. All right.
Yep. Tommy Edman. It's righty Tommy Edman with worst play skills. There you go. I'm a Cardinals, so my mind will automatically go to former Cardinals as a quick comp if we don't have one on the spot. Number 13 is Dalton Pence, a starting pitcher. So Dalton Pence was a 2024 11th round pick. So zero pedigree here, but he had a really, really good season, which is one of the reasons why he won't be higher in my rankings, is because like we're looking at a guy who may not have the best pitch mix and like has very little pedigree. So usually when you see guys with a low pedigree, it means that they're probably not going to pitch to high velocities. So this guy only hits 91 and 93 on his fastball, and fastballs are pretty important to me. We don't have his pitch level data here, so I don't know how he's performing on his breakers since he only topped out at high A. And when he was an A ball, he was on the Arizona side, so we don't have Florida State League numbers for him. But what we do know is that he had a 15-ish swinging strike rate. What do we have there? 16.4 swinging strike rate, 30.5 CSW. And he had a 23.2 K minus walk rate on the season. So a very, very good year back of the baseball card and even under the hood. But he doesn't have a lot of velocity on the fastball. So kind of like what I do with these guys until we get pitch level data is like I'm not going to jack them up, because like there were a lot of guys that popped last year, like a Owen Wild and a Casey Hunt, for an example, that had really, really good 20 for 24 seasons, like popped just like Dalton Pence. But then when they got to the higher levels, they got rocked because their pitches, their actual arsenal isn't that great. They just like made it work for whatever reason. Maybe they have a really strong pitch mix that can dominate in the lower minors, and it's not going to work on the higher levels. Or maybe their stuff is pretty loopy. Like you see that he's throwing almost like a slurve sweeper type pitch from the left side here. And that's like all his strikeouts. Look at this. That's got to be a sweeper, slurvy slider type pitch. That reminds me a lot of Quinn Matthews.
That thing was way outside. He got a call.
That might get rocked when he gets to ABS, because he's just swinging that thing in there, and then it's just gonna be a ball when he gets to AAA. Yeah. So there's a lot of good stuff here, but there are concerns because we don't have the pitch level data. So that's why Dalton Pence, who had a phenomenal season, is ranked 13, because you could see like F scores love him, JA ERA loves him, but we don't have the pitch level data yet. So nice little placeholder at unlucky number 13. Number 12 is Yolfran. Do you like that name? Yolfran Castillo. That guy has to be Cuban, right? Yolfran sounds like a little bit Russian to me. Yeah, oh, he's Venezuelan. There's a Venezuelan, so there's a little bit of communist bias here in our friend Yolfran. so Yolfran Castillo, for whatever reason, Fangraphs actually ranks him second. Like I'm not down for that. For a guy who played.
Do you know the Fangraphs guy? Is there one guy that does
Eric
the prospect?
Longenhagen? Eric Longenhagen is the main guy for Fangraphs. They've got like side riders or whatever.
That's a German guy. Longenhagen. Come on. We got football games in Europe. We got German guys at Fangraphs ranking American prospects. I guess most of these prospects aren't even American. So I'm really trying to get over my like American supremacist stuff. The playoffs were tough. I was really against the Blue Jays.
Taiwan supremacy, man. We're all about Taiwan supremacy on this because we're the number one fantasy baseball podcast in Taiwan now, if you didn't know this.
Yeah. I ruffled the feathers of the Canadians. Although then I had Zach on this week, and he's Canadian, but he's not the most popular Canadian. So I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
That's all right. I've got a lot of Venezuelan friends, and a lot of Venezuelans work for my company. So I'm Team Venezuela here.
Okay.
Yeah. So Yolfran here shows like no power, but good hit and speed. So like when I see this guy, he kind of reminds me, and I'm going to comp a prospect to a prospect here, but he kind of reminds me of Welbin Francisca, but like a year behind and worse power. So Welbin Francisca is a shortstop in the Guardian system, switch hitting shortstop, big hit tool. This guy's a lot bigger though. He's 6'3", 165. So, like he could get bigger. but I don't know. Like here's another name for you, Andres Jimenez, right? Hit tool, speed, decent plate skills. Like doesn't strike out a lot, maybe doesn't walk as much, but like no power because this guy had a 1.2 home run to fly ball rate and an under 100 ISO. So like that might be a good comp for you. Is like an Andres Jimenez here. Is like a tall middle infielder who projects like he could get to a lot of power and then like maybe never gets there, just like Andres Jimenez. So like you see how skinny he is in the video if you're watching on
This is
YouTube.
2 years ago. That's worth noting. But
yeah, this is DSL stuff right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not as high on him as a lot of other people because I don't really buy the power ever kind of working out for Yulfron here.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like again 2 years ago, but that guy's skinnier than me, and that can't be good.
Can't be good for a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Number 11. Here's your Fitz. Devin Fitzgerald.
They really threw a dash. So is this like was his? I mean, this is funny. Was his mom's name Fitz and his dad's name Gerald, and then they just happened? Like my brother-in-law's name is Fitzgerald, but like without.
Yeah.
I mean that's funny. That is really funny.
It's like an Irish. He's Irish, but he's like two Irish parents that just combine the name. I don't.
And he's not even the only one.
Fitz German.
I don't know.
I think Fitzgerald. What nationality is Fitzgerald? I want to think Irish for some reason, but
Gerald's like Hey Arnold. You know, Gerald from Hey Arnold.
Gerald from Hey
There's
Arnold.
two Fitz dash Geralds. They must be brothers or something, right? Harold and Devin. But which one are we? They've got to be. We're talking about.
So Devin Fitzgerald. So Devin Fitzgerald actually went to Stoneman Douglas. So a school shooting shout out there.
Yeah, nice man. I was like, what?
Yeah. He's from my hood, man. He's from Parkland. So like that's in Broward County. That's my hood. It's South Florida here. I love my South Florida.
The first ever school shooting shout out. Thanks.
Yeah. But he's good, man. 302, 428, 482 slash line. So 6 home runs, 8 steals on the season in 41 games. I don't know what happened to him. Why I only played 41 games. I don't know if that's just, late whatever, or if he was hurt at the beginning of the season or what exactly here, but he did only play partial season, which he got hurt at the end of the season. So he didn't play after July 2nd. And because he's in the minors, there's literally zero news on his injury. Right. So don't know what happened to him, but he was having a really nice season, more walks than Ks. So I really like the profile. What did you have the F scores pulled up? I wasn't even looking.
There wasn't anything there. It's blank.
Oh, not enough information. Yeah. But he would rate really highly in plate skills because more walks than Ks. 180 ISO. And again, 6 home runs, 8 steals. So nice profile here for half of a season for Devin Fitzgerald.
No Wikipedia page, so I can't figure out his parent situation. But if he gets closer to the majors, we'll figure that out for you guys.
Yes, it's critical to know if his parents are named Fitz and Gerald.
Gerald Fitz. Who gets the first? Whose name goes first? If they date the fight about that or what? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The Dutch, they've got Van right in front of their names. It's like Van whatever, and then there's no dash though. So maybe it's just one of those sorts. Yeah. Is this Austria-Hungarian? They put a dash. Is he Austria-Hungarian? And they're like, hey, we got a Austria-Hungarian, so let's just put the dash in the name.
It's the year of the dashes. Let's keep going. We're 33 minutes in and not even in the top half. We're doing it again.
Oh, we're having fun. We're having fun here. Yeah. Next on the list is Jose Corneal. This is one I'm not even sure how to say his name. He did actually make a 1.2 inning a major league debut, John. So have you heard of him?
Nope. I missed it. Did he make a start? A reliever?
He did. He came in as a reliever, but he was a starter in the majors. So basically, that was like an end of season cup of coffee, whatever type deal. But his starts were short. He had 13 starts on the season and only 38 innings. So that's because in 2024 he missed the whole season. Assuming Tommy John here, I didn't really research into it, but I'm assuming he missed 2024 from TJ. But he'd had a good year in the 38 innings, 21.9 K minus walk. You haven't pulled him up yet, John.
This is just the box score data, but yeah, over here.
And unlike our buddy Pence, he actually has AAA data, so we actually have some pitch level data that we'll be able to pull up here.
We got problems with
Wrong Corneal, dude. Wrong Corneal. There's two Jake Corneals here. We are talking about Jose
I'm on the
Corneal,
hitter.
and has
I'm on the hitter
two
profile.
L's.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 2 L's.
There he
There we
is.
go. Boom. I'm excited to see this Arsenal data here. Look at that.
96.
109 F stuff, 122 F control, 106 F ERA. And he throws 96 on the fastball. I don't really love the movement. Like horizontal movement's great. 6 inches of horizontal movement on that fastball. So that's actually kind of fun. 9.3 swinging strike rate's okay. So we got an okay fastball with nice velocity. The slider, a 27.8% swing strike rate with 0 vertical movement, which is actually, that's pretty interesting. Only horizontal movement, 0 vertical movement at all on the slider is like, besides gravity. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. How's that work?
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. That's probably why it has a 27.8% swing strike rate, because it's literally like a completely vertical slider, which is, or a completely horizontal slider, which is a lot of fun. Changeup, 23.8% swing strike rate on the changeup. 7.4 inches of horizontal movement on that changeup is sick. Like that's got to be a kick change for something like that. That's not a regular changeup. That's got to be a kick. Which I'm not sure about because I have not done a write-up on him because he was not a top 150 prospect for me. But that's got to be a kick change at that. And he throws the changeup to 87. So let's see if this has got kick change movement on it as you pull them up here.
Slider. Fastball.
Ooh. Look at that. I like that fastball. That's basically a 2-seamer.
Fastball. This is a 5 strikeout thing, so I don't know if we'll get a change. There it was.
Ooh, there it is. Oh, look at that. That was an airbender. You saw that? That's an airbender right there.
Yeah.
That's a kick. That's a kick change.
Nobody in the home plate section though, so nobody was real excited for him, which is downgrade. You know,
I like the fastball. I actually like that fastball. That's fun. The 2-seamer, primary 2-seamer, and then the changeup is good. I like that changeup. That's Jose Corneal here in the Ranger system, our number 10 prospect. Number 9 is Dylan Dreiling, who was, I think, is a 2nd rounder last year. Let me make sure about that. Let me confirm. I think it was a 2nd rounder. Let me pull that up real quick. 2nd rounder out of Tennessee. So he was a national champion because Tennessee won in 2024, I want to say, I believe. So I think it was a national championship. Dylan Dreiling here, 12 home runs and 15 steals at high A. So kind of a fun profile. Bad BABIP. So he had a bat, like if you look at his batting average, you'll be like, Tim, why do you like this guy? 226 batting average, 319 OBP, 381 slug. If you're looking back at the baseball card, you're not going to like this guy. But F scores love him, and I love him because he was running on a 267 BABIP, which is crap. It's not going to happen.
Do I have BABIP on here somewhere, or do you get that from Fangraphs?
I got that off of Fangraphs because I was waiting for you to pull them up. But go back to his F scores here.
All right. Well, okay. If I don't have BABIP anywhere on this dashboard, that's
on the F scores thing. Yeah, we've got to have his BABIP on there.
Definitely could. It could easily
throw it right next. You should throw it on there right next to batting average. But you can see an 84% contact rate is good. So he's got a good hit tool. He just had a bad BABIP right here that drew his stuff down. 84% contact is very, very good. So we've got a 100 hit tool, right, John? A 102 power, a 115 discipline, and a 104 speed. So all that right there, above 100 on everything, that tells you that this guy's probably going to be a starter at some point.
Yeah.
Outfielder. He's going to be a starter at some point. And 12 home runs and 15 steals. So over 110 games. So maybe he profiles as like a 15-15 guy or something like that in the majors. But a 15-15 guy who profiles above average around the board, that's a pretty good player right there, especially for like points leagues, because he does have a very good plate approach. 12% walk and a 20% K rate this year. Last year, an 18% walk and an 18% K rate. So he's got a very good plate approach. Even in college, he would walk more than he struck out in college. 23 bombs in college with metal. So I think we got like a good 15-15 type player here, John, with a really good plate approach. And he should at least hit probably 250, I would say, with a decent BABIP. So I think we got a pretty decent guy here. Future starter here for Dylan Dreiling.
Maybe a little bit of boost to left-handed hitters. Do you ever if you ever considered, how do I get this off full screen? Like a tiebreaker between prospects that are pretty much the same? Do you favor the lefty, or have you ever given any thought to that?
I actually favor righties over lefties generally because, and it all obviously there's going to be a stadium dependent thing on how you do that. But unless if you're looking at a home run hitter, then you're going to look at stadiums and see what the footage is.
But
and see how
lefties get the platoon advantage a little more, right? There's more right-handed pitchers.
Yeah, lefties will get a platoon advantage if they're a platoony team. But lefties also have to deal with if they're going to hit the ball on the ground, they're going to get out a lot. Yeah. So unless you're a line drive hitter and you're a lefty, or you have like all fields power, like JJ Weatherholt hits the ball all over the field. So I have zero concern about JJ Weatherholt's batting average. But with lefties who pull the ball a lot, especially if they're pulling it and they have like a decent ground ball rate, their batting average is going to track down versus a righty who does the same thing. So you have to look at batted ball splits in order to judge that. But if there's a lefty with like average batted ball splits against a righty with average batted ball splits, and it's a non-platoony team, like it's not the Rays or something like that, I'm going to actually lean to the righty because they're going to have less shift issues. Because even though the shift is gone, it's way easier to throw a lefty out who hits the ball on the ground than a righty.
Yeah, baseball is not a fair and equitable sport for lefties and righties. Like there are big advantages. It kind of goes both ways. Lefties have a certain advantage and righties have another one, but like every other sport has there's no, a basketball court, a hockey rink, a football field, like left to right doesn't make any difference. But baseball, you got to run to the right first.
Yeah, it's one of those things that Ohtani did wrong. Where I'm like, the first thing that I saw when Ohtani first came into MLB, I was like, why the hell is this guy a right-handed pitcher and a left-handed hitter? It should be the vice versa. Like if I was picking, I'm throwing lefty and hitting righty. Like, what are you doing?
I doubt he chose that, but
yeah,
that's funny.
Number 8 here is Yeremy Cabrera. Yeremy Cabrera is a guy that I loved last year, went down my rankings midpoint this year, and then had a really good second half. So I want you to pull him up here, and we're going to play with the slider. We're going to get some slider action here, John, because he had a really bad first half, and then he had a really, really good second half here for Yeremy Cabrera. You got to pull it up though. We got the chart thing up here still. So Yeremy Cabrera, if you're looking at his overall stats, 256, 364, 366 slash. You're like, yeah, that's all right. 8 home runs, 43 steals. You've got to love the stolen base rate, John. Look at that. 91% stolen base rate. The attempt rate was actually down. He had a 28% attempt rate. Or wait, no, there. Okay, there we go. 33%. So it actually went up. So that's a pretty good stolen. What's the average? You said 12?
Yeah.
Is the average.
That,
so 33% stolen base attempt rate is pretty good. So he's aggressive on the base pass and 91% success. So that's good. This guy is going to be a good runner. He rates out on F scores as a 102 power, 99 hit, 104 discipline, 117 speed. But he got better as the season progressed. As a 19-year-old this year in A-ball, he's 20 now, but he was 19 during the season. And so I think good things are coming for Yeremy Cabrera. Last year, I liked him a lot because in complex, he had 9 bombs and 17 steals with a 149 WRC plus in complex last year. And this is a guy, again, who had a really good DSL and a really good complex. And then at the beginning of the season at A-ball performed very, very poorly. And at the end of the season last year at A-ball performed very, very poorly. But the second half here, bring up the slider, John. Let's see his second half slash.
Yeah, let's go here.
You can zoom out a little bit here. Let's bring it up to, but just pull up second half, which should be about like 715 or something like that. All righty, look at that. Second half, 284, 385, 448 slash. So he performed a lot better in the second half. Now do like the last month. He didn't play in September because A-ball.
Well, I had that over here, yeah. But then I hit some button. I hit it, but yeah.
Yeah. So last month, 298, 398, 476. So he was almost hitting 300 in the last month here. So he did a lot. He performed a lot better second half of the season and toward the end of the year. So Yeremy Cabrera is a trending up guy. That's a guy that when I do my little Twitter thing, I'm going to have a stock up symbol next to Yeremy Cabrera.
Okay. Yeremy,
not Jeremy. He's Spanish Yeremy. And DR. Number 7, AJ Russell. AJ Russell was a draft pick. He did not pitch this year, I don't think. I don't think he did anything.
I don't have him on the dash.
Yeah. So AJ Russell was a pitcher for Tennessee in college, 22.5 K minus walk rate, a 3.55 ERA, and a 1.34 WHIP. That's in the SEC, so I don't really care about I honestly do not care about ERA or WHIP when I'm looking at college guys. The only thing I care about with college statistics with pitchers is going to be K minus walk rate, and then I want to watch them and see what they do. So let me actually pull up where I have him in the FYPD real quick.
They fooled me again. I tried to find a video, but it's just moving pictures. Sorry, but now
I've got him 45.
Okay.
I've got him ranked 45 overall in FYPD. Just if you're keeping track of that. And so AJ Russell, let me pull up his Arsenal because I do have his Arsenal stuff here. If you give me 1 second, I got to find it in my thing here.
Big right-handed pitcher, looks tall.
Yes, man. So you can't use the MLB. You got to use YouTube for the college guys. So Arsenal, he's got a low to mid 90s fastball that can sometimes hit 98. And he's got a low release point, so there's a little bit of deception delivery that makes the fastball play up a little bit. And he throws a slider, which is a plus pitch. Ooh, look at that. That had a nice IVB on that one. He throws a plus slider and an average to plus changeup, which we just saw. Oh, no, that was a fastball. That IVB. He threw that one 97. And you see that arm angle? Check out his arm angle in this next pitch here. It's kind of like side army. So that's why he's got this deception here in that arm angle. Kind of interesting. Like almost like Brody Hopkins-y, but he doesn't have the velo of a Brody Hopkins, but maybe he builds into it. So, and he's only got 3 pitches. Brody Hopkins has got 6. But there's a little bit of a Brody Hopkins type effect here to his pitching. So maybe he works into it. Gotta love Tennessee players, man. Like we're talking about 2 of them here. Obviously, the Rangers love the Tennessee org, and so do the Giants because they took their manager. But this is a guy who was transitioning from reliever into starter, and I think AJ Russell is a really fun FYPD player here. Rangers paid him $2.6 million out of a second round slot, so they paid the man pretty well out of that slot. Number 6 is Alejandro Rosario. John, I really love Alejandro Rosario as a pitcher. Came out of Miami, was phenomenal in 2024. And I don't know what is going on. I've asked Evan Grant about this like 3 different times. Evan Grant is the beat reporter for the Rangers, but he did not get Tommy John yet. So it was reported at the very end of last season that he needed to get Tommy John, and he hasn't got it. And I don't know if this is like an immigration issue or something here with him, but Evan Grant has reported to me because I've asked him so many different times. I'm like, did he get TJ yet? Did he get TJ yet? And he keeps saying, no, he has not gotten it yet. So even this year, he still hasn't gotten it, but I don't know where he hails from originally, like what country, if he's American or what, like I have no clue, but he went to University of Miami, but he said that there's behind the scenes issues with Rosario right now, but you could see F scores 124 F stuff, 130 control, 119 FERA. Hit a 144 JA ERA last season in 2024, 33.1 K minus walk. 30 or you got 32.3. Fangraphs had 33.1.
Yeah,
but he was so good last year. Like I had him as a top 20 or top 50 prospect at the end of 2024, but he hasn't gotten the surgery. So I don't know what the hell to do with him right now because it's like he just wasted a year and now he's going to waste another year. Like what happens to a pitcher who hasn't pitched in 2.5 years when they come back?
Yeah, it'll be like 26. Maybe he'll be knocking on the door, 25, 26. I remember him because of I'm sure I got a tweet or 2 about him because I often during the season look at minor league K to walk ratio leaders, and he's obviously was unbelievable at that 33%, something you almost never see. But good news. I mean, good reporting updates on for you on that. I obviously wouldn't have known that, but yeah. So no idea when he would return. Can you even could you even roster him in like a dynasty league, or is it just better?
Yeah, this is the problem. Is even in the tool shed mock, someone picked him really high. Someone picked him like the 4th or 5th round because this is the problem, is that people know that he needed TJ in 2024. So people are assuming he actually got the surgery and that he's going to be good to pitch next year. And he didn't get the surgery yet. So I'm going to be way further down on him than anybody else is going to be, just because I know that he didn't get the surgery. Because I'm like literally every month I Twitter or whatever Evan Grant. I'm like, yo, what's up with Alejandro Rosario? And then he's like, still didn't get it. And so like I'm the only one doing that. So nobody knows except for me because I'm the only one bothering Evan about it. So yes, he still did not get the surgery, and so they basically wasted a year, and now we're going to be wasting another year when he actually does get the surgery, I guess, unless he's just trying to do this. Like, who was the pitcher? Was it Andrew Haney, who tried to get like PRPs and just like naturally heal Tommy John, and it didn't work, and he just wasted like a whole year doing that? I think that was Andrew Haney when he was with the Angels, correct?
I don't remember.
Someone did that. I think it was Haney. I'm just gonna guess. Oh, you know who also did it? It was Weaver, Jared Weaver. Jared Weaver did that too.
Angels. Okay.
Yeah, Angels.
Angels. Angels do weird
work.
stuff.
Yeah. So I'm probably down on him compared to anyone else. Number 5, Gavin Feen. I don't know if it's Feen or Fine, but he was their first round pick. I know a lot of people really love him. I'm not as high on him as other people. Welsh saw him in Bridge League and said he hits the ball really, really hard. Like that he hits the crap out of the ball. He got $4.8 million as a high school guy, picked 12th overall in the draft. But in his little debut here, 10 games, he did not hit a home run. He struck out 24% of the time, 6% walk rate, and a 73% contact. So for me, I'm not as high. I think he's kind of like an average across the board guy. And so like, I'll tell you where I have him in FYPD in 1 second. Where do I have him? Other people have him like top 10. I've got him at 28. So I'm not going to get him in an FYPD. But because there's a lot of people that like him. Like I said, Welsh likes him, says he hits the ball really hard. But like from the data that I have on him so far, and from what the high school video that I've watched of him, I'm just not much of a fan of him. So I'm probably not going to get him. But that's first rounder for the Rangers. So first round pick is going to rank pretty highly still, regardless. Number 4, Winston Santos. This is a guy that I actually picked in the Toolshed mock. Winston Santos I really like, and I think I got really good value on him in the Toolshed mock. He was hurt and missed a good chunk of the season this year, like the whole first half pretty much he missed. But he ranks really highly. 108 stuff, 117 control, 91 FERA, so that probably tells you he's got some home run problems. But again, he was coming back from injury. So fastball, he was throwing almost 97 miles per hour. We do have Arsenal data because he did pitch in AAA, but it's only 65 pitches. So we have we have 1 game of Arsenal level data here. But 8.9 inches of ride on that, 97 basically throwing the fastball. Changeup had a 25% swinging strike rate over that data. Slider had a 25% swinging strike rate. This is a guy for me at the beginning of the season, John. I had him as a top 150 prospect. Then he got hurt, so he fell off. But I think he's back. We had only small sample size of him being back, and I liked him before the injury. So I'm not going to ding him. Now that he's healthy again, I'm not going to be dinging him too much. And the good thing about Santos, I actually like Rosario better as a pitcher, but Santos is not hurt. He's actually back and pitching. 15-ish swinging strike, 16.1 swinging strike rate on the season. Gotta love that. So even though we only got 17 innings on the season, he came back healthy at the end of the season, and he pitched 110 innings last year. So it's like he was built up before. So, and he's still pretty young. 23, he'll be 24 next year in AAA. Like he could debut next year at some point. So that's Winston Santos. You got anything on him before we move on?
No, shout out to the durability scores. I kind of finally fixed them this morning, and they're looking pretty good.
Yeah. 73. That's accurate for a pitcher who was hurt this year.
That was the toughest one to code for sure, because if you missed the whole year, it could just be because you're new. Like I was looking back for a few years, and it's like, well, if somebody just got drafted last year, I can't punish them for not playing 2 years ago. And it's tough. I think we got a good formula now.
Yeah, I do too. We did a lot of testing on it to make sure. You tried it the first time, and then when Tyler Glasnow was showing up with a high score, I was like, "This."
How this goes is I do stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to code this anymore. I'm sick of this. I want to do other stuff, and then I finish. I'm like, here we go, Tim. It's better, and you're like, no, this is terrible. This guy's missing. I'm like, okay, all right, but it's coming together.
Yeah, trial and error. This guy we're gonna love here, Caden Scarborough. This is a guy that you're gonna love. He shows up with a 115 F stuff, a 124 F control, and a 108 FERA. 25.5 K minus walk rate on the season, and a 15.2 swing strike. JAERA is 224. This was a pop guy this year. He was kind of barely on my radar before the season, And now he's number 3 on our ranking here. So this is a major riser. Even Fangraphs only has him 11. They're behind here. But this guy is a big time riser from this year. Last year, he had a 6.97 ERA, but I kind of liked him. I think last year when I did my Orange ranking, I had him at like 15 or something because he had a really bad ERA and a 17% walk rate, but he had a 16.1 swing strike rate last season, John. So I was like, oh, that's cool. 16% swing strike rate, a lot of walks. I think maybe he's a reliever. So I had him at like 15, 16, something like that coming into the year. But he fixed the walk issue, a 6.1% walk rate on the season. So he fixed the walk issue, and now he's phenomenal. So only 88 innings. So like you see an 82 durability there because he only pitched 88. So hopefully next year is his build-up season. He'll work through AA and AAA next year as his build-up season, and then he'll probably be a 2027 debut guy for Kid Scarborough.
It splits over 25-ish% K to walk against both. That looks good.
Yeah. He's a stud, man.
Finished healthy, like you said, 68, 70 pitches. That's probably, would you say 70 pitches-ish is like pretty much a full pitch count for the minor leagues?
I would say it is for low A and like high A for where he was in his development. Next year, you're going to want to see him in 80s and 90s for pitch counts. Like most of those guys will never hit 100 until they're like right about to debut. Unless they're like Ben Hess, who's like 6'5", 250 pounds or whatever. Or they're Peyton Tolley or whatever. They're not going to do that. Number 2, David Davalillo. He was in my top 150 last time. So Scarborough will 100% be in my top 150 next time. Santos probably will be in my top 150. Fine will not. So the top 4 guys will probably be in my updated top 150, just an FYI. Scarborough, Davalillo, and Walcott will definitely be. So David Davalillo was a top 150 guy for me last time. This is an Arsenal guy. This is a wide Arsenal guy who has success because he throws a crap load of pitches, and he's just a really crafty pitcher. More than he is like a really good stuff guy. So he led the minor leagues in ERA in 2024. I don't know if he did in 2025, but in 2024, he was the lowest ERA for qualified starting pitchers in the minors. So maybe you want to pull that up, John, on like a sidebar. But I had him this year. I comped him to Brian Bayo and Reese Olson. MASH was my comp for him in my rankings.
What do you want me to pull up? A video?
So he has a 108 stuff, 117 control, 114 FERA. I want you to pull up his ERA ranking for 2025. Where did he rank for all MILB in ERA? Because 2024 he was the leader. But Arsenal grades, he throws a fastball, he throws a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer. He throws a gyro slider. He throws a sweeper. He throws a curveball, and he throws a splitter. So if you're counting, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pitches for Davalillo. He's a high command guy, so I give him a 55 out of 60 on the command on my grades. On the pitches, I gave him a 45 on the 4-seamer and a 50 on the 2-seamer. On his gyro slider, I give him a 55. His sweeper, I give him a 50 out of 55. Curve, I give him a 50 out of 55. And the splitter, I give him a 50 out of 55. So he's like an average to plus guy across the board with 6 pitches who's going to just be super crafty ground ball guy. He's only 6'1", so like he doesn't throw very hard. He's a 93 to 95 mile an hour guy. So he's like low to mid 90s, who's going to get by more on like his on having a wide arsenal and being crafty and getting ground balls and stuff like that than on other stuff. Right.
I lost him. He was, you said 2024.
Yeah. Davalillo. 2025. Let's see where he is. 2025.
So, right here. So combining both 2024-25, he's second to
Paul Skeens is the only guy who beat him.
And Sakura. Travis Sakura.
And Scooble. It's all professional guys. Scooble, Sale,
right.
Skeens.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, we don't care about ERA, but obviously that's pretty impressive. That means quite a bit. How about Sakura's he got Tommy John or something, right? This is a Nationals pitcher.
He got Tommy John. He would have been my number 1 pitcher outside of like Chase Burns for prospects. If it was,
I wrote the Nationals preview and then I linked to your prospect preview in the bottom of mine, and I was going to talk about Sakura, but then I remember that he got hurt, so he's not really relevant for a redraft. But yeah, David. Yep. To talk about names.
Davalillo. Yeah, it is tough. Too many L's. Davalillo. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, 0.37 home runs per 9. He's like putting Skeens to shame there. 0.37 home runs per 9 with a 21 percent.
That's your Otnu guy. That's the guy that you want to get in Otnu, and he's gonna just like be like a 6-point guy or whatever. And you're like, what the hell? He's your Parker Messick, because Parker Messick did that for Otnu this year, and like I was all over Parker Messick, so he's your next Parker Messick, I guess, who's like not like gonna throw 100, so people are not gonna be all over him, and you could probably get way cheaper and then get a ton of value. And he was in AA too, so there is a chance he debuts at the end of the year next year. Number one is Sebastian Walcott. This is your superstar in the Rangers organization. So Sebastian Walcott played the entire year this year in AA as a, I think was he 18 or 19? He's a 19-year-old, I want to say, this year.
19
so
now.
This year, this year he played 19 the whole year as a young 19. He's 19 and 7 months right now. So he played as a young 19-year-old in AA the whole year. So this is the guy, John, that we need. This is the net. I swear we need to develop the age to level WRC plus thing, because he would destroy on that. Because 19 at AA, the average AA player is 23 or 24 years old. So you have to factor in like a 4-year bump here of production, because the F scores give him a 101 power, 100 hit, 103 discipline, 116 speed. And you're gonna be like, why do people have this guy as a top 10 prospect? Because he's playing 3 or 4 years below the average age to level as a above average player, right? And not to mention, he's also 6'4", 190 pounds as a shortstop. So, he's got the build. 13 bombs and 32 steals in the minors. So we don't love the success rate, 76% stolen base rate. So they may stop him at some point, but he is running 27% of the time. So that's okay. But again, he is younger age to level. So all these stats that we're looking at right now, we have to factor that in. So once we get an age level calculator bump, like this dude had a 111 WRC plus as a 19-year-old. So like kind of the rule of thumb, someone from Fangraphs did an article on this like 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember his name. And so I'm sorry, dude, whoever you are at Fangraphs who did the article, but whoever did this article said to factor in for minor leaguers about a 25 WRC plus bump age to level for a year under the level. So if the average age level is 23.5 for AA, you kind of want to give this guy like roughly a 75 WRC plus bump, which would put him around a 200 WRC plus, which is sick. So that's what you want to factor.
All right. So for Christmas, I'll get that done for you.
Christmas present. I love it.
Your Christmas present. Hopefully before that.
Thanksgiving present.
Yeah, I tried it one day and then I got confused and I just quit. So
no, we'll work on it. You just text me and we'll work on it together.
But
Sebastian Walcott is a future superstar.
AAA this year and debuting late, or what do you think?
Yeah, probably. I'd say he'll probably start the season in AAA next year. He could be a cup of coffee guy at the very end of the season next year for the Rangers.
Has he been drafted?
Especially if Corey Seager gets hurt.
So we got we have NFBC data. Let's see if anyone's touched him yet. Yeah, we got a couple picks. No, 14 picks actually. He's going in ADP 500 or something. That sounds a little crazy. A little crazy to me.
Yeah, for his age, I mean, like unless Corey Seager gets hurt or whatever, like maybe he's up at the very end of the season, September. So
what about
all I would put on it?
I talked real quick about this with so we're done with the Rangers, but just some redraft thoughts since we're doing drafts. I mentioned that like we were talking about the two. We were talking about the Cardinals top prospect. Shorts. What's his name?
JJ Weatherholt.
Weatherholt. So he's going. He's at 260 ADP, and these are draft and hold, so you can put him on the bench and like. That's kind of what probably people are thinking. But we have him.
Wait until Nolan Arenado and Brandon Donovan get traded, and then he's going to be like 150 or something.
So you don't think that's crazy? And then Connor Griffin's going in the top 300 as well. Like
I think that's crazy because I don't think Connor Griffin's going to debut this year. A lot of people think that the Pirates are going to like not pirate and they're just going to like be aggressive for some reason. Like AJ Preller is not running the Pirates. Sorry, people. It's not going to happen. He's not going to debut. JJ Weatherholt, if Nolan Arenado and Brendan Donovan are traded, is all of a sudden the starter at second or third base, and because they'll still have Nolan Gorman, but he'll be the starter at second or third base, And I guarantee you that at that point, he'll probably be like a 12th round pick in NFBCs. Like
somebody already used a 15th round pick on him here. Someone must be cranking it to some Cardinals.
I assume he will be breaking camp. Like right now,
really?
Cardinals camp. Yeah. I mean, he was like the last cut last year at spring training. Okay. Remember, I live in Jupiter, so I get to go to I go to like 20 spring training games every year. He was like the last guy to be cut off the Cardinals team last year. So he's ready. I mean, he's going to crank. Like he might lead off for the Cardinals next year.
But no Griffin, because I agree. There's no chance of Griffin being up anytime. Like unless the Pirates, although the Pirates are going to spend a little bit, quote unquote, as the report came out yesterday. We're going to spend a little bit.
If the Pirates are in the mix around the trade deadline, then maybe he comes up. But he's not going to play the first half. Like there's no way in hell.
Yeah. All right. So that's a good pod where this is a new record for length in this series. Can we get, since there are drafts and I'm in them, I'm doing gladiators right now, which are 23 rounds. So we don't need to worry about prospects there. But if we're doing DCs and 50s drafts where there's 50 rounders, we need some prospects. So hopefully you were going to talk about doing a redraft prospect rankings list. If we could get that going before December, that would be awesome.
Things are going in order. So I'm going to do my top 150 prospect rankings in general first. Yeah. Once I have my full list done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out from it to get the guys that I think will be debuting early. And then I'll have a redraft list based on after I have my top 150.
Okay.
So it'll probably take me a few weeks to get that done. So I would say that before Christmas, I'll have the redraft out. So 100% before Christmas, probably mid-December. So maybe before
be a nice
Hanukkah.
App. My plan is
I'll get it from my Israeli brothers. So I'll have it for you for Hanukkah. How about that?
All right. And then I'll have a page on the web app with the rankings. You'll be able to click. Tim gives me his rankings. Yeah. You'll be able to click 3-year, 5-year redraft, whatever. It'll change. You click a name, the F scores will show up. His write-up if he has one. It'll be a nice little app to display everything for Tim, and we'll keep it going. But that's it for this time. So take us out of here, Tim.
Yep. Thanks for watching on X and YouTube and whatever. I'd recommend watching. It's a better format. John's playing video of guys and stuff like that now. So I recommend watching if you can rather than listening, especially if you're driving. I definitely want you to watch while you're driving. No, I'm just joking.
Get better at driving. Makes you a way better driver.
If you're in a Tesla, make the robot drive and you can watch. But anyway, watch, listen, subscribe, please subscribe and give us reviews. Nice reviews. If you appreciate us, it takes like 1 second to just throw a 5-star review on there. Please do it. You don't even have to write anything. You just write, love you guys. Like, just send a little heart emoji and put a 5-star. That's cool. And then also make sure you subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse so you can get all these awesome tools we're talking about and play with them yourself. If you don't subscribe, I guarantee someone in your league will, and then they're going to crush you, and then you're going to cry and be like, I should have just spent a little bit of money and won my league so I can beat all my friends and laugh in their face. So make sure you subscribe so you have all the tools and you can get to jump on your league mates. So that's the podcast. Next, we will have Arizona Diamondbacks with Doc within the next day or two. So we'll see you then. Peace out, everybody.